Nobody expected this live to become one of the most talked about Jungkook and Jin moments of the year. What started as a simple, relaxed broadcast suddenly took a surprising turn when Jin said something to Jungkook that instantly caught everyone's attention. At first, it seemed like an ordinary comment, but Jungkook's reaction told a completely different story. Within minutes, armies were replaying the clip, analyzing every expression, every smile, and every second of the interaction. Social media quickly exploded with theories, and fans couldn't stop asking the same question. What exactly did Jin mean? Was it a joke, a hidden message, or something much deeper that nobody saw coming? The more people watched, the more curious they became. And honestly, the moment that followed only made everything even more mysterious. As clips from the live continued to spread across social media, the discussion only grew more intense. What seemed like a brief and harmless moment suddenly became the center of attention for fans around the world. Every frame was examined. Every expression was replayed. Every tiny detail became part of a much larger conversation that nobody could ignore. The atmosphere during the broadcast had already felt different. There was an unusual sense of comfort between Jin and Jungkook, a natural energy that immediately caught the attention of viewers. It was not something dramatic or obvious. Instead, it was the kind of moment that quietly stays in people's minds long after it ends. The more fans watched, the more they felt there was something special hidden beneath the surface. Then came the moment that changed everything. It happened so quickly that many viewers missed it the first time. A simple remark. A brief reaction. Nothing that would normally stop a live broadcast. Yet the way Jungkook responded instantly made people pay attention. His expression shifted for just a second, creating a wave of curiosity that spread faster than anyone expected. Within hours, countless posts began appearing online. Fans shared screenshots, slowed-down clips, and detailed observations. Some believed the moment revealed a deeper level of trust between the two members. Others felt it highlighted a bond that had quietly grown stronger over the years. No matter the interpretation, one thing became clear. People could not stop talking about it. What made the situation even more fascinating was how naturally everything unfolded. There was no attempt to create a viral moment, no obvious effort to attract attention. The interaction felt genuine, which only made fans more invested. Authentic moments often leave the strongest impact, and this was beginning to feel like one of those rare occasions. As discussions continued, older memories started resurfacing. Fans revisited years of content, looking for similar interactions that may have gone unnoticed before. Clips from past broadcasts, backstage footage, and behind-the-scenes moments suddenly gained new attention. Each discovery seemed to add another piece to a puzzle that nobody had fully understood. The emotional response from ARMY was impossible to overlook. Many described the moment as unexpectedly heartwarming. Others admitted they felt emotional watching the connection between the two members. It reminded people of how much history they share, how many challenges they have overcome together, and how their friendship has evolved throughout the years. But the biggest mystery remained unanswered. What exactly was it about that particular moment that affected so many people? The answer seemed different for everyone. Some focused on Jin's words. Others focused entirely on Jungkook's reaction. Many believed the true significance was hidden somewhere in between. The uncertainty only fueled more conversations, ensuring that the topic remained active long after the live ended. Days passed, yet interest refused to fade. New viewers kept discovering the clip for the first time. Existing fans continued returning to it. Each replay seemed to reveal a detail that had previously gone unnoticed. The moment had transformed from a simple interaction into something much larger, a shared experience that united millions of viewers through curiosity, emotion, and endless speculation. And perhaps that was the most remarkable part of all. The live had ended. The broadcast was over. Yet the questions remained. The theories continued. The emotions lingered. And somewhere within those few unforgettable seconds, a detail that most people overlooked may have been the very reason why ARMY still cannot stop talking about what happened between Jin and Jungkook that day. The longer the clip stayed online, the more unusual the reaction became. What initially looked like a brief interaction between two members had now turned into one of the most discussed moments among fans. Every day brought new theories, new observations, and new questions that seemed impossible to answer completely. What surprised many people was how the emotional impact continued to grow rather than fade. Usually, viral moments explode quickly and disappear just as fast. This felt different. Instead of moving on, fans kept returning to the same few seconds. Some admitted they had watched the clip dozens of times. Others said they could not fully explain why the moment stayed in their minds. There was simply something about it that felt important. The attention was no longer focused only on what Jin had said. People began paying closer attention to everything surrounding the moment. The timing, the atmosphere, the expressions, the subtle change in energy before and after it happened. Those details created even more curiosity because they seemed to suggest there was a larger story hidden beneath the surface. As discussions continued, many fans noticed how comfortable the two appeared throughout the broadcast. There was no sense of performance, no sign that they were trying to create a memorable moment. Everything felt natural, and that authenticity made the interaction even more powerful. For longtime fans, it brought back memories. Years of shared experiences. Years of growth. Years of unforgettable moments that had shaped the relationship viewers were seeing today. People began reflecting on how much had changed over time. The oldest member, who had always provided support and guidance, had experienced countless milestones alongside him. Their journey had unfolded in front of millions of people, yet moments like this somehow felt personal. That realization created an emotional response that spread throughout the fandom. Many viewers were no longer analyzing the clip simply to understand what happened. They were revisiting it because it reminded them of something deeper. The passage of time, the strength of friendship, the memories that remain even when years go by. Suddenly, the conversation was about more than one sentence. It was about everything that sentence seemed to represent. And that was when the mystery became even more intriguing. New screenshots started circulating online. Fans pointed out details that had been overlooked during the initial excitement. A glance that lasted a fraction longer than expected. A smile that appeared at a very specific moment. A reaction that seemed almost impossible to fake. Each observation generated thousands of new comments. Each theory led to another theory. Each answer created even more questions. The cycle never seemed to end. Meanwhile, the clip continued reaching new audiences. People who had not watched the original live suddenly found themselves drawn into the discussion. Many arrived expecting a simple explanation. Instead, they discovered a mystery that nobody could fully solve. The more they searched for answers, the more fascinating the story became. Perhaps that is why the moment remained so powerful. Not because viewers knew exactly what it meant, but because they didn't. The uncertainty gave everyone room to interpret it differently. For some, it was a touching reminder of a bond built over many years. For others, it was a glimpse into a side of their relationship rarely seen in public. And for many, it was simply one of those rare moments that feels meaningful without needing an explanation. Days turned into weeks. The conversations continued. The views climbed higher. The clip kept appearing on timelines across the world. Yet despite all the analysis, despite all the theories, despite all the endless discussions, one question continued to follow the moment everywhere it went. What was the real reason Jungkook reacted the way he did? Nobody seemed completely certain. And perhaps the most surprising part of all was that the answer might not have been hidden in Jin's words. It might have been hidden in what happened immediately afterward. A detail so small that most viewers missed it the first time. A detail that, once noticed, changed the entire way some fans viewed the moment. And as more people began discovering that overlooked detail, the conversation surrounding the live was about to enter an entirely new chapter. As the discussion entered a new phase, something unexpected began happening across the fandom. The focus slowly shifted away from the original words. People were no longer asking only what Jin had said. Instead, they started asking why that particular moment felt so different from countless other interactions that had happened before. The question seemed simple. The answer was anything but. Fans who revisited the full broadcast noticed something that had been overshadowed by the excitement surrounding the viral clip. Long before the moment everyone was talking about, there had already been subtle signs that the atmosphere was unusual. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, just small details that felt increasingly significant when viewed in hindsight. The way certain moments unfolded, the timing of particular reactions, the comfortable rhythm between them throughout the live. Viewed individually, none of these details seemed important. Viewed together, they painted a much larger picture. That realization sparked another wave of interest. Theories multiplied overnight. Some fans suggested the moment reflected years of trust built behind the scenes. Others believed it revealed a level of understanding that only comes from sharing countless experiences together. Many felt that the true meaning had less to do with what was actually said and more to do with everything that remained unspoken. That possibility fascinated people. After all, the strongest connections are not always expressed through words. Sometimes they reveal themselves through silence. Sometimes they appear in brief reactions that last only seconds. And sometimes they emerge in ways that cannot be easily explained. The more viewers thought about it, the more emotional the moment became. Suddenly, people weren't just discussing one live stream anymore. They were reflecting on an entire journey. Years of performances. Years of challenges. Years of victories and setbacks. Years spent growing together under the constant attention of the world. For many fans, the clip became a reminder of how much history exists behind even the smallest interactions. What appears simple on the surface often carries a deeper meaning for those who understand the full story. That perspective changed everything. A growing number of viewers began describing the moment as unexpectedly moving. Not because it was dramatic, not because it was shocking, but because it felt real. In an era where countless moments compete for attention every day, authenticity remains rare. And authenticity has a way of staying with people. Even after the excitement fades, even after the headlines disappear, even after the live ends, the emotional connection remains strong because it reminded fans of something they often forget. Time moves quickly, much faster than anyone realizes. One moment feels recent, then suddenly years have passed.
People change.
Circumstances change. Entire chapters of life come and go. Yet some bonds continue to endure through all of it. That realization gave the viral moment a different kind of weight. What had started as curiosity gradually evolved into appreciation. Fans were no longer searching only for answers. Many were simply grateful to witness a genuine interaction that reflected years of shared experiences. Still, the mystery refused to disappear completely. In fact, it grew stronger. Because as more viewers watched the clip in context, they noticed something else. A detail hidden near the end of the broadcast. A detail that received almost no attention during the initial wave of discussions. At first glance, it seemed insignificant. Most people overlooked it entirely. But once someone pointed it out, others could not stop seeing it. The observations spread rapidly. New compilations appeared. New analyses followed. Fresh theories emerged from every corner of the fandom. And for the first time since the clip went viral, many fans began wondering whether they had been focusing on the wrong moment all along. What if the most important part wasn't the sentence? What if it wasn't a reaction either? What if the real story began after everyone thought the moment was already over? That possibility changed the entire conversation. Because if true, it meant millions of viewers had spent days analyzing the wrong few seconds. And the more people revisited the ending of the live, the more intriguing that possibility became. Some viewers claimed the overlooked detail revealed a completely different perspective. Others insisted it strengthened everything fans already believed. Nobody could reach a consensus. Nobody could provide a definitive explanation. Yet almost everyone agreed on one thing. There was still something hidden within that broadcast that had not been fully understood. Something small, something subtle, something easy to miss. And as more fans continued searching for that final piece of the puzzle, the mystery surrounding what truly happened between Jin and Jungkook seemed further from being solved than ever before.